Hey folks, it's BestInSlot. Welcome back to our Jurassic World Evolution mod spotlight series. It's only been 3 days since the last video, and yet I have 15 brand new dinosaurs. Well, 12 brand new dinosaurs and 3 other things to show you in today's video. I was going to take a little bit longer to do this, but there's been so many already, and I want an easy to do video because I'm very tired. So, let's get started. 10 of these 15 are herbivores. The herbivore renaissance is very much happening. It's in pursuit of what I don't know, but it's happening. We're going to kick things off with Lesothosaurus. This is by Sweetener as part of their new pack, the InGens List Pack. This is a early omnivorous ornithischian, and it was briefly seen on the holoscape screen in Jurassic World, hence making it onto the InGens List Pack. It's cute. It's got that little beak, a little bit of counter shading. Clearly very heavily edited face shape in particular. Kind of looks like it's been punched in a little bit, which is lovely. How you doing, Gorny? Feeling good? We still have a lot to cover, so we're still going to be snappy. But I like the body shape on this one, with that long neck combined with the slightly chunkier body and those big thick thighs. We're not going to talk about what I just said. Let's move on to the next dinosaur in that same pack, Peloroplites. Did I misspell that on my list? Maybe I did. Also by Sweetener, also part of the InGens List Pack. This Nodosaur was the corpse that was cut from the trailer. The trucks drove past it in the scene we never got. However, that doesn't mean the corpse didn't make it into the film. The corpse is doing very well for itself. The corpse was surrounded by lava at one point during the Mount Sibo eruption. And I believe it was the Indoraptor that broke through the corpse and smashed it to pieces during the climactic fight scene over at the manor. So all these dinosaurs in the InGens List Pack, and there's 5 of them by the way, all of them are ones that feature in some way in the franchise. And there it is. Slightly odd-shaped head Nodosaur. I think the body's... the tail looks different to me, but the body's fairly, usual. It's just, yeah, looks cool. How you doing, buddy? Feeling good? Looks very smug, doesn't he? Like he knows something that you don't, and he's about to tell you. You know when someone gets a secret that they're really happy to know about and they have to share it? Yeah, I'm not a big fan of you, Pelly, anymore. Next up on our list from that very same pack is the Microceratops, i.e. the Microceratops. Now, the reason these have different names is simply that we already have a Microceratops, we actually covered it the other week, which actually has the same colour scheme and theming. This is a much more, you would say, chill version of that same theming. So yeah, if you thought last week's version was maybe a little saturated for your taste, this is a really nice little Microceratops. Microceratus, whatever you want to call it. Basically, Microceratops is the older name for the dinosaur. It's no longer considered to be an accurate scientific name, so we call it Microceratops. But if you want to use both, now you can. You can have Microceratops. And there it is right there. A rather funny coincidence. They've both decided to hang out together, so you get a good comparison between the two. This one's more striking in its coloration. This one's a little bit more detailed and textured, I would say. Both beautiful creatures in their own right. Finally, for the herbivores in that pack, we have Pachyrhinosaurus. I should have mentioned Microceratops, of course, has been around in Jurassic Park since the very beginning. Pachyrhinosaurus was originally intended to be in Jurassic World Evolution and probably Jurassic World Fallen Kingdom, and it got changed to Tyrannosaurus. But an interesting ceratopsid. Always happy to see more ceratopsids. It is our second Pachyrhinosaurus as well. We're getting a lot of duplicates these days, which is totally cool. Totally on board with that. Actually, a cool thing we can do with the duplicates is if you have 2 of them of the same dinosaur and they've got a little bit of variation, you can pretend it's gender dimorphism or simply variation within a species, which I think is pretty nice. How you doing, buddy? Yeah. I was going to make it in, got swapped out for Tyrannosaurus, got some holes punched in its crest, all that kind of jazz. You're doing well now. Oh, also Sweetener, InGen List Pack, blah, 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 blah. You know the drill by now. Okay, so moving away from that for a moment, we have a Coronosaurus made by Tony and Games. I remember Coronosaurus was also, are we going to say meant to be in the game? For a long time, we thought we were getting Coronosaurus in the game. We think it was maybe originally intended to be part of the herbivore pack, or along with Claire Sanctuary or something like that. It never made it in. But this Coronosaurus has the skin flap, and we thought this might be what they do, because Coronosaurus and Parasaurolophus look very, very similar, so if they were going to bring Coronosaurus into the game, how would they make it look unique? And this skin flap here was one of the hypothesized ways they would do that. I'm not the biggest fan of the skin. The model's beautiful. I'm not the biggest fan of the super dark skin, if I'm totally honest. Same vibes as our Saurolophus over here, but still a fantastic creature. And it's nice to have it in there. You know, it feels like it should have been in there. Should have got an official one. Now we have an unofficial one. Our sixth herbivore then is another duplicate, or another one we've had before. This is Musaurus, made by Lemo0307. Aww. Been spooked. So Musaurus is our sauropodomorph we've talked about a little bit in the past. I really like the coloration on this one. I think the skin could maybe be blended together a little bit more, sure, but I like the vibrancy, and all the different variation skins look really vibrant and over the top as well. We do have to pretend, interestingly enough, that all of these... I think this one might be bigger than the last one, which I appreciate. Musaurus mouse lizard was, as I've mentioned before, for a long time regarded to be very, very small. But we know now they were infant specimens, and Musaurus could grow up to like 20 feet in length. It was not a small dinosaur. And yet it always gets rendered in a very small way. I think this is a bigger version of the last one. But still, it should be much bigger. It's interesting that we keep going back to this well. But yeah, very cute. Really nice design pattern there. You look good, Musaurus. How do you feel? Musaurus feels good. Two more herbivores to go then. Next up is... Guyosaurus. Let's go Guyosaurus. I've definitely butchered that one. So this is a really interesting dinosaur. This is part of the Herbivore Pack 3.0 by Sweetener. Come up with 2 packs. This is a basal dinosaur from the Triassic. And it is so basal that we still don't really know what it is. It could be a sauropodomorph, or indeed it could be a theropod. You can see how it's definitely, design-wise here, leaning in that theropod direction. But a lot of, as we saw just a moment ago with the Musaurus, a lot of sauropodomorphs had this same theropod-esque body structure, at least externally. So we don't have that much information on this guy, but he is a herbivore. Has that lovely little proto-feathering quilling at the back of the head there. A little red snout. Hates the ground, you know. Just going to show it who's boss. Going to try to sneak in some bugs from there or something, I'm sure. We actually have a lot more herbivores to go than I thought. I drastically miscounted. So, from that very same pack, we have a Cosmoceratops. So again, Sweetener. And this is the Herbivore Pack 3.0. As per usual, you can download all these at the document linked in the description. Cosmoceratops, known predominantly for that really interesting crest horn formation, of course. And this is really cute. I really like this. I saw a pic of this when it was posted on the Discord, and I love the crest on this, how it's tilted backwards, but that really prominent, interesting display, which, you know, people, again, this is another thing we go back and forth on a lot. Sexual selection is probably the best theory for why these crests exist the way they do. Some people posit it's more for a defense and attack, but, you know, given the weird elaborate displays, and some of them have holes in them, that seems less likely. And also some people think it's for species differentiation. If you were walking down the street, you're a Cosmoceratops, but there's other ceratopsids in the area, you need to find your Demon Tonk, you need to find your Cosmoceratops friends. Well, you look for the crest, because it's distinct. Either way, very interesting dinosaur, really beautifully rendered, and I like the subtle dashes of blue there. It's got like a little blue blusher on or something, you know? And finally, from that very same pack, we have Breviparopus. This is a really interesting sauropod because it is only known. We have no fossils we have no fossil evidence of the actual Breviparopus itself. The only evidence we have that this dinosaur exists, and the skin is beautiful, by the way, really nicely done, is actually a series of footprints that it doesn't seem to be related to an existing dinosaur. Now, they think it's a brachiosaur of some description, but, you know, we're not there yet in terms of pure classification. Either way, really interesting. It's been determined to be a new species purely by those footprints, but we don't know what it is. So for now, it is Breviparopus, and it's its own kind of shebang. Really, really like the neck, that sort of black and white zebra patterning down to the sort of duller body. A little burst of colour there on the head, and you can see it's got some Brachiosaurus sort of flair to it. That crest is, you know, very Brachiosaurus-esque. Given that this is pure speculation, it's a nice looking dinosaur. You know, we literally have no idea what it would have looked like, so that's pretty cool. Don't know if it's done on purpose, but the head has very much orca vibes to me. You know, that little eye in the... Orcas have this thing where the eye seems to disappear because it's always within that sort of the black splodge. And this has the same kind of vibe to me. I like it. Right, now our final herbivore. Diabloceratops, this is our second one, so we've got the species name now, which I really appreciate. Diabloceratops eatoni by Primal Tyrantrum, our devil-horned face ceratopsid. And I love the skin work for this one. Some people came at it for being unrealistic, which I take issue with, because we don't know. We don't have a bloody clue, largely. We might have some ideas here and there about what some dinosaurs may have looked like, but generally speaking, all dinosaurs could have been bright purple, and we wouldn't really have a clue, so I dislike the idea that it's unrealistic. And lots of reptiles out there are very, very heavily coloured. There's no real reason dinosaurs couldn't do the same thing, you know? I really like this. I think it's beautiful. The horns are really well done. I love that sort of ombre effect we've got going with the horns there. This patterning here on the crest is fantastic, but it has an interesting body still. You know, all the ceratopsids always have really boring bodies, and then a little bit of vavavoom on the crest. It's nice to have one that just pops with colour for once, I think. I appreciate you. Who is this again? Primal Tyrantrum. I think this is cool. I'm big on this guy. I'm a big fan. Right, many herbivores, 10 herbivores later, we are finally done. We're going to head over to the carnivores, the large carnivores, and for our second, Teratophonius Kuriai, the monstrous murderer. So this is by Sweetener, and this is the final dinosaur. Oh, we're on the move. In the InGen's list pack. So there will be another one over there. Yep, which has a very different direction in terms of the skin. But again, now we've got a little gender dimorphism if you're in that way inclined. And who isn't? So again, Terra is part of the InGen's list pack. It did, of course, appear in Fallen Kingdom. I mentioned it was the corpse that was in the film. And as people reminded me, I believe the skeleton also made it back to the manor, I think. I actually can't remember. I really need to watch Fallen Kingdom again. Oh, I thought you were... Where was my... Oh, it's that one over there. But yeah, now we have two of them, which is cool. It's got a nice skin. Camo, you know, where's it gone? Nobody knows. And intense eyes. This guy's going to see you coming from miles away. Now for one of the dinosaurs I have been most excited to showcase. Finally, we have a new species from Zach, who's done some of the best work out there in the mod community. This is Zucheng Tyrannus by Zach, i.e. Unsk. 3000, I think it is. I can't quite remember. Zucheng Tyrannus, is that what I said? I always say Zung Chen instead of Zucheng. I moved the G for reasons unbeknownst to science. But yeah, it's beautiful. So, it's very shiny. Zucheng is essentially a smaller Chinese Tyrannosaur. Very similar in body shape and style, as you can tell, with Tyrannosaurus Rex. Kind of a longer, thinner snout, if I had to wager a guess. We've got some nice sort of horns there above the eyes. All T-Rexes and all Tyrannosaurs should have horns above the eyes. Yeah, just a really nice Zucheng. There's not much to talk about because it just looks like a Tyrannosaurus Rex, but I love the skin design. It's really natural, beautiful colours. This is one of those dinosaurs that could have been in the game, and you wouldn't notice. You know, it would have blended right in with the existing dinosaurs, which I always think is cool. Yeah, really good addition to our parks. Big shout out to Zach. Hoping to see lots more. Basically, Zach did tons of mods of like really high quality made dinosaurs. All of them are replacements. You know, this was back in the day, so I'm very excited for the day when they pop up again as brand new species, if that does indeed happen. Right, just because the dinosaurs are done doesn't mean that we are. Next up on our list is Kalenkin. This was originally made by Siaka. I have shown you this before on the channel, but it has been made into a new species by Max Lay. And it's our big old terror bird with evil eyes, as per usual. I always like the Kalenkin. You know, it's one of our proper feathered creatures. Big old booty feathers there at the back, feathers on the arms / wings, and of course the sort of sprouting around the head. It looks evil. You know, let's not pretend otherwise. It's definitely got that vibe to it. But it's also awesome, and it's really unique, and it's nice to have these extinct giant birds. You know, it's nice to it's just nice to get more non-dinosaurs. They always mix things up in really interesting ways. You're okay, Kalenkin, in my book. Love that beak as well. Terrifying stuff. It is a terror bird after all. Under the same pretense, we have the Columbian Mammoth made by Siaka, but uploaded by Max Lay. So shout out to Siaka for making the model in the first place, but shout out to Max Lay for going back and bringing those into the game. The Mammoth was always one of my favourites. I think it's beautiful. Look at it. And the really cool thing now is we can have a Smilodon / Columbian Mammoth habitat. Which I just think sounds really cool. And it's going to look very, very dramatic and paleo-y. How you doing, buddy? Again, these are creatures we've shown before, so I don't have too much to add on them in particular. The Mammoth always looked fantastic. Still has this weird thing where the shadows are super dark on one side. I don't know why that's a thing, but I mean, look at that. It's a gorgeous creature. It really is. Really nice detail work on the head shape, the skull shape. Even the ears themselves are fairly impressively detailed. And then there's a bit of little daggles of fur. I don't know what a daggle is, but I feel like when I say, oh, look, little daggles of fur, you kind of know what I mean. We've got some daggles of fur down there at the sides as well. A fantastic creature, but we do have a brand new non-dinosaur creature to add to our parks. This is Arthropleura by that man, Tony, in games. I don't know if Tony is one person in games as another. It's like a Jekyll and Hyde split personality thing. Or it's just Tony and he plays games. It's probably the latter, but I like to think it's the former. Anyways, Arthropleura, amazing. This thing is incredible looking. Very excited about this. It's, look at it go. Look at it go. It is a big ass, and that is exactly, like, I write notes on this, you know, to keep at the side, so I've got the list and the creator names and all that. And it's a big ass millipede, basically, and that's literally what I wrote down. Because it is literally just a big ass millipede. In the shadow of the mammoth. That's a very dramatic. That could be like a book title. It's a big ass millipede. Some species of Arthropleura are, as far as I am aware, the biggest terrestrial arthropod to ever be on the planet, basically. As in the biggest ground-dwelling insect to ever exist. It might be insect rather than arthropod. Although I feel like insect is less official. Anyways, there we go. Arthropleura. All those teeny tiny little legs. That really, I love, it's just the body. The body is fantastic. This segmented, chitinous exoskeleton we've got going on here. I love this kind of fade to black, this kind of fire and brimstone kind of pattern going on. Makes it look, you know, you could play Devil May Cry, right? And this thing could be hanging on the wall. I'd be like, yeah, okay. That makes sense, you know, that's not unusual. Look at it go, bounding along. Yeah, maybe it wouldn't have bounded along quite this excitedly, but you know, maybe he's having a good day. I think it's really cool. I love stuff like this. The more arthropods and weird stuff we can get into the game, the better as far as I'm concerned. So, big shout out to Tony and Games. Hopefully we get more like this and we can build... It'd be cool to do like a full-on King Kong thing, you know, where they fall down into the pit. Or to have like an arthropod exhibit with like 5 or 6 of them. So, the more we get, the better. I'm a huge, huge fan of this one. Looks awesome. Yeah. It's just nice. Oh, I just love it. Yeah, so big shout out to the modding community, because 15 dinosaurs in the last 3 days is utterly bloody mad. I'll show you the total. Goodbye, Arthro. I love you. I miss you. We're up to, what, 154 species. There are a couple I haven't installed. I'm trying to be a tiny bit stricter, that if a dinosaur looks essentially identical to the existing dinosaur in the game, that I'm not going to be including it in the list. I don't know if that's the right thing to do or not, but that's where I'm sitting with it right now. So 154 is the list count, and my count, well, some of you will be on 156, 157, something like that. But we have such a varied, interesting list of creatures here. It's crazy. Oh, my beloved Nanook as well, one of my favourites. The 2 Musas. You see, they're very different actually in body shape. I think the new one is larger, which I like. If we get another Musaur, I guess, and it's even bigger, we could have like 3 growth stages of the same dinosaur, kind of like we do with our T-Rex and our young T-Rex and stuff like that. Yeah, nuts. Just big shout out to the mod community. Honestly, this is amazing that we can keep doing this so often. I wasn't intending to do this so often, but I woke up very late and didn't have a video, and these are pretty chill to make. So hopefully you guys enjoyed it. Hopefully you enjoy Arthropleura, but also lots of other fantastic creatures. Shout out to Sweetener this week, released, what? 8 new dinosaurs, I think it was, across the 2 packs, which is pretty nuts. Sweetener was over half of this video, so shout out to Sweetener in particular, but shout out to everyone. You're all very special people. Okay, right, thank you so much for joining me. Me and my little buddy Artie, the Arthropleura. We'll see you next time. Thanks for joining me. Cheers much love as always. Hit the like button. Bye-bye.
Reaching out.